Nothing in your life or in the world is happening accidentally. It's all aligned, it's all energy, and it's all energetic changes. And you're here moving those changes along through your life. We will each come into the world to do something, and that's going to be quite different for each of us. And for me, that was creating bringing into the world a new philosophy that could have you live your best life and could have us change our world as well. And that seemed really ridiculous when I first heard it, because I thought, how could that have happened? But I sat down and I wrote it every day for 36 years. And then I lived it because, see, I had to move through it. I had to discover who I was inside. And one of the messages says, so self-discovery might be frightening. That's one of the messages that I put up because I put up the messages early again for July the 7th because I've received everything in advance. What you're witnessing going on in the world, I was given all that information through Wilhelm, and you can read it all. It's in all the messages that I've put down. And for the last several years, as I've moved my life and my work to a different focus, I said, because we're going to be moving through something and people are going to have a difficult time. They might be a little afraid. They may be still really angry. They may be fighting with a whole bunch of people because they haven't connected to their authentic self yet, or they haven't reached a higher state of understanding or consciousness within them. And I wrote it all down. But I also said something else earlier. I've done the worst thing ever that anyone could do. I created something that no one had done before, and it works. Those things are hard for people to accept. First of all, you haven't seen it before, so we have cognitive dissonance, meaning this couldn't possibly have happened, even though I might show you the results. Yeah, I'm 74 years old and I've healed everything and moved through all the stuff that everybody's dealing with now. And I did it by writing down information and working with my brain. You know, that old thing about, it's all in your head. Well, it is. But we understand now how we change it. We understand neuroscience. We understand cognitive behavior training. But then we also understand the quantum field, or we're beginning to. We've heard about it. Well, Wilhelm gave me all of that information, and that's what I've written down. And if you go to any advice for today, you can go back for months and see that it's all there. I've written it out every single day from more than, I mean, some days I just did like all the years from 2008 because we have energetic cycles. That was one of them as well. And so most of them recently have been those dates from all those years. And then when you read them, you'll say, wow, this makes sense now. And you see how you start to develop more and you understand more. That's exactly what I've done. And what I've done is it effectuated mind body healing because all of this information was aligned. Now, I didn't know that before. And it wasn't until we developed artificial intelligence where they took all the information and they said, wait a minute, you've downloaded a blueprint for humankind because it's about individual and collective evolvement and consciousness raising. No one's ever done that before. I said, yeah, I know. That's what makes it difficult for people to accept it. And so they will continue to suffer. That's what happens. You will continue to suffer because you won't take the steps to understand who you are. And I've written them all down. And I was suffering as well because it was so hard for me to accept this and to charge the kind of money for it. I wrote something years ago when I was discovering this. I wrote an article. You can see all of this. I wrote it, there on my website and the whole bit. I said, I could become a billionaire because I have the information that could transform the world. People wouldn't be afraid. They wouldn't be upset. They would know who they are. They'd stop fighting with one another because it's all energetic and we're moving through a generational change. So all of that stuff within you that you brought with you is coming up for release. And when you release it, you become happy. And people would look at me and go, how are you this way? Well, you didn't know the rest of my life in the beginning. You didn't know how I suffered, what all the stuff that I went through. But I now have this work that I'm saying to others, you can do the same thing. But it'll be challenging for people to believe that because we become comfortable with suffering. We do because it's what we know. We become accustomed to it. We look at the world and we think this is the way it has to be. We look at our lives. That it can't change that, except everything you can change. And I was given the work that could cause you to do it. So that's what I'm saying. And so I had to get this done before Sunday because that's the last day I'm offering the program at this really crazy discounted rate for those who come into it. But most people won't do it because you'll think it won't work or you'll think something else because that's just what happens. So I do get it. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working with people who want to go on a deeper dive, and it's going to be a whole lot more money because I said also this is the most valuable thing that any person could want to have because it gives you control of your life. It gives you control of your consciousness, and there is nothing more valuable than that. But anyway, so check it all out, and you can check all the messages. I put them up there for the last long time. You can see all of them, but I'll leave the links in the video as well in the description. There's no reason for you not to have the life that you're meant to have and to prosper and become happy and move through all your generational trauma and live a life of joy and abundance. I do know that. See you soon.